It fits, and thank God. I'll get into that a little bit later. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have some more work to get done on the Civic today. As you guys should know by now, this thing's getting boosted and we have a couple loose ends to still tie up before we can venture into fabricating the exhaust and intercooler piping to make this whole setup work. What I'm waiting on right now is I ordered a Yonaka dual core rad with their slim fan and shroud because it was literally like $60 or $70 cheaper than just an E fan with no shroud for this rad. So I was like, less than $100 to get a full brand new rad with a slim fan that comes with an aluminum shroud. Why would I not do that? But the reason I started off the video with this is because I called up Honda and I ordered an OEM oil filter. Now the part numbers I was seeing online on like Honda Parts Now, Acura Parts Now for B series was not this part number. This part number was for like 2007 to present, like Fits, Accords, Civics, which to me means K series, and I need one for D and B series, so that's the part number there. And well, it works, it threads on. I guess that's the only thing an oil filter is really good for. I mean, if it threads on and seals, it's gonna be filtering oil going through it. So if you guys are curious, that part number is good for B series. I guess that's the new replacement for the discontinued B series specific ones. Who knows? Today, we're gonna be draining the oil in the Civic to get that sandwich plate on. I'm not gonna put on the feed line. It was attempted to be delivered today to my work, and I'm not at work today, so we didn't get that today, but we can still drain the oil, take the old oil filter off, put the sandwich plate on with the new filter, kind of line it up so it's all ready to go for when I have the new line. And considering we're getting a new radiator, I might as well drain the coolant as well and get that rad out of the way. Another thing me and the boys have kind of started to venture into is the world of powder coating. So that's very exciting for me. We have got a couple pieces powder coated here. This is a 1320 torque mount for B series. And then we have a OEM tow hook. Obviously I don't use these anymore because we have a traction bar and this goes in place of it. But we still wanted to test, and I mean the powder coating came out sick. It's a little orange peely. It's less on this, but we're gonna start experimenting with colors and whatnot. So a lot of parts on the hatch are gonna be getting powder coated. And if you guys are curious or interested in the powder coating process, let me know down below and I can start doing a couple videos on powder coating our EG parts. But this 1320 torque mount is skinny, very, very skinny. And the one on the car is very, very thick. And if you remember a couple videos ago, our intercooler piping hits this bracket, the OEM one, because of how thick it is. So this one's low profile. I want to go ahead and install it. I just don't have a bolt to go through here because the OEM one has a bolt that's like hard mounted on this piece right here. So I just need to get a bolt to go from this to the torque mount, but this should bolt right up. As we can see, if we come around to the front of the car here, here's the torque mount and it goes right on the transmission. So that right there, that OEM mount, you can tell how much thicker that is. I mean, that thing is thick compared to how thick this is. So that will give us a lot more clearance in between this intercooler piping, because right now, I mean, it's pretty well wedged against the overflow and that OEM torque mount. So I kind of want to take that off today. It looks like I'll have to take off a little bit of intercooler piping, which shouldn't be a big deal. But first things first, to make our lives easier, we got to get this stock rad out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and start draining the oil and the coolant, just so we can start to kind of take these parts off, get the sandwich plate on, and once this is gone for now, it'll give me a lot more room to deal with this stuff over here. No! What a pain in the ass. Good thing it's only coolant and water. Oh, what a shit show, boys. That's what happens, I guess. But we're getting this coolant out of here so I can rip this out. Come on, dog. Okay. Overflow bottle, gone. So while this is still draining, on another note, the turbo bolts that we ended up using right here, we put nylon nuts on the bottom of them. Not a good idea. So I have the nuts that came with the stud kit right here. And obviously it's the same thread pitch and everything because the manifold's threaded. So these nuts will work perfect, and they're non-nylon. We just use our lock washers, a little bit of Loctite, and these things will be good to go. Obviously not gonna use the stud bit, but today we gotta put these non-nylon nuts on the bolts that we got. And now that we know that this oil filter works with this setup, we can go ahead, actually take it out of the plastic. We obviously don't want it to dry up or anything, but for now, Honda OEM filter. I really like just running OEM filters on absolutely everything. So we're just gonna kind of cinch it down on there, and boom, there is our sandwich plate, blocked off, and then one open for the feed line. So when it sits on the engine, the feed line can come out and go exactly where it needs to go. But for now, oil sandwich plate is good. We just gotta drain the oil, take off the filter, and install this setup. And at this point, we're down to a slow dribble. So I'm gonna put the petcock back in and start to take out the rad so we can move on to other things we gotta do today. There she is, boys, all drained. Now that the radiator and coolant is drained, we're gonna go under the car, start draining the oil so we can deal with the Speed Factory sandwich plate. So let's get right into it. Magnetic oil drain plug installed, and no metal. We are looking good to go, boys. Magnetic drain plug cleaned up. There was no metal on it at all. The oil was definitely dirty, due for a change, so I'm glad we're doing it now that we're going boosted. We've got a new crush washer going on as well. Boom. Just like that, we are all set to go ahead and reinstall this. But before we do that, we got to take the oil filter off so we can get that drained out and we can put on the Speed Factory sandwich plate. Oil is drained, filter is off. This next step, unfortunately, is going to be quite impossible for you guys to see. So unfortunately, I can't really film it, but it's super, super simple. You know, where the oil filter goes on, we're going to thread the sandwich plate on. Then once the sandwich plate is on, we're going to thread the oil filter on. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on each seal, on this seal you see here and the seal for the oil filter. Don't put them on together like this. Put the sandwich plate on, then put the oil filter on. Make sure you got a little bit of oil on the seals because this engine's going to be sitting without oil because we need to drop the pan to get the bung welded for the turbo drain. But for right now, we can go ahead and put oils on the seals so they don't dry up and get this installed. Okay, boys, I'm trying to get you a nice iPhone shot. There's the sandwich plate right there. Our port for the oil filter is facing that way where it needs to go, towards the timing chain. And basically what you do is you hold the oil sandwich plate still and you just spin the threaded knob that's sticking out of it. They're not connected as one piece. So you can position the sandwich plate wherever you like, hold it there, and then thread it down. Once that's complete and it's nice and tight, you can go ahead and put on your filter. And this is done until we get our turbo oil line in the mail. And then we can thread the oil line in and we are all good to supply the turbo with fresh, clean oil. And there she is installed. Sorry, this is on the iPhone camera, but we've got our sandwich plate right behind the oil filter. Everything's good to go. The port is angled out through that hole right there above the alternator for our fuel feed line. So when that comes in, I'll crawl my big ass back down here and install that. But for right now, sandwich plate is installed and we are looking good. Now that our radiator is out, coolant is drained, oil is drained, fresh drain plug, fresh crush washer, sandwich plate, and OEM oil filter, we can now move ahead to taking the nylon nuts off my turbo and replacing them with non-nylon. The only thing I could find at the time was nylon, so I got it so the turbo could be on here, but now we've got regular non-nylon bolts. I'm gonna go ahead, or nuts, sorry, and I'm gonna go ahead and replace the nylon ones with the non-nylon ones, and then we should be good to go. Okay boys, and just like that, coolant's drained, oil's drained, radiator's out, speed factory sandwich plate is on, OEM Honda oil filter is on, fresh magnetic drain plug with crush washer is on, and all the 4 nylon nuts that were on the turbo are off and replaced with regular nuts, crush washers, and Loctite. So hopefully those won't come loose. And unfortunately, until I get my radiator and my fuel feed line in, there's not much more for me to do here. If you guys want to keep following the build of this car, go ahead and subscribe right now. Hit it with a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss when I upload next. And next time, hopefully we can get the feed line situated, possibly the radiator if it's in, and if not, we can move on to doing the fuel pump, and I still have to order the injectors. After that, it's off for fabrication and a tune, and then we're boosting, baby. Till next time, guys, comment, like, subscribe. Peace.